going on, everyone? Hey, I know you are approaching that lunch break a little early on a Friday, right? And you are already looking forward to Super Bowl Sunday, which you can watch right here on WPTV News Channel 5 Sunday night. Wanted to talk so much about this. Get in the comments section. Who's your pick and why? Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why you are watching the Super Bowl. And if you're not, you better have a good excuse. But I tell you what, we're gonna talk a lot of fun stuff today involving the game, including some local connections. If you're a football head, there's a lot of Florida connections. I'm going to bring our friend Theo Dorsey in right now, though. Theo is a sports reporter and anchor for WPTV and ESPN 1063. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, and good luck to your LA Rams, man. I'm happy for you. It's actually going to a Super Bowl. I'm a Panthers fan, so I don't live that luxury right now.
That's tough. That's tough. But hey, listen, a lot of tough years as a Rams fan, and I'm a legitimate one. So let me just quickly explain that. And again, we're on Facebook Live here on the WPTV Facebook page. Get in the comments. Just simple. Who's your pick and why? Let us know. What's your favorite Super Bowl food? Let's talk about the game. So I'm a Rams fan from the St. Louis area, Missouri. We all actually grew up Chiefs fans because before the Rams, I'm old enough where the St. Louis Cardinals moved away when I was in first grade to Arizona. A little too young for that. Then everybody's a Chiefs fan in the state of Missouri, and then the St. Louis Rams come. Okay, great. That's like an hour away, and here's me going to a Rams Dolphins game, the last one back in 2020. And so everybody, hey, we're Rams fans now. We still like the Chiefs and all. And then they left, and it got weird because I was already gone. I was in the Navy. I was here in, South Florida. I'll explain this one in a second. That's the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I had my dad get me the paper that after they won the first Super Bowl. Still have it framed right there. Nice. Yeah, clock with my name. That's really dorking it out. But stayed a Rams fan, even though they moved to LA. It's blasphemy back home. That's fighting words to St. Louisans right now. But here we are, and second Super Bowl in 4 or 5 years. So that's my Rams background, and went through a lot of tough seasons. The 10-year stretch, no winning seasons. There was 3 seasons they had 6 wins.
Yeah,
from 07 to 09. It was dark. It was really, really dark. So to have this level of success, awesome. So let's talk about the game.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, for one, can I say I'm glad to see that life journey of a Rams fan right there unfold, because they were a laughingstock for most of my upbringing. Yeah. So to see y'all back in prominence is nice. I'm happy for you.
There was a 1-15 season. There was a 2-14 season. There were 2 4-12 seasons.
You lived through Jeff Fisher. You had Jeff Fisher.
It was tough. It was mediocrity. It was tough. And when they hired the current head coach, Sean McVay, it's just been great since. And now they're seen as a destination where, listen, midway through the year, they signed Odell Beckham Jr. And everybody just seems to come and like it there. I mean, there's a lot to like about LA, but as a Rams fan, I'm letting you know there's not many people left at all in St. Louis that are Rams fans anymore. And that's it's tough, but it was weird because I was away. I know a few people that are still, but hey, a lot of fans out there though. A lot of fans of the Bengals. Feel cool for them as well. Cincinnati Public Schools gave off the Monday, this coming Monday, because of the game. And there's that feel around, Midwestern city. And that's kind of how it was in 99 as well. And 2 years after that, the city really gets behind a team. So LA has a lot of options, okay? But the Rams are front and center right now, and there's no place like home, right? So they're playing in the home stadium. Second year in a row, an NFL team has played the Super Bowl in their home stadium. What do you think of that?
It's crazy, Mike. So, think about it like this. It's Super Bowl 56 that we're upon, right? I'm not great with the whole Roman numeral system, so don't show me the letters. But Super Bowl 56, for 54 years, we're talking no home team hosts the Super Bowl.
It's nuts that never the dice rolled that way.
Tom Brady shows up in Tampa, and then he maybe he's starting a trend. We need to see. I think Arizona hosts next year, so maybe Kyler Murray can make a push for it. But it's kind of insane that we get back-to-back years like this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Corey's pick up there. Corey Soderman says L.A. Listen, if you get in this live stream, we're going to put your comment up. There you go.
I like the picture too.
A smart pick, might I add. Let's get your picks in. If you're watching this Facebook Live, I know you're trying to procrastinate on this Friday. I know you're trying to just kind of, oh, man, what's going on? Get into the Super Bowl Sunday weekend mode. It should be a national holiday, in my opinion. Exactly. So, all right, Rams fan, it's fun to have because you know what? You got to savor every moment of it because – man, even Patriots fan, how are they feeling now? They don't know when they're going to get back to the Super Bowl. You take it for granted when your team's good. So every time you get there, and it's just to get there is good, but to win it, that's an even different level of. And the Rams have only won it once. The Bengals have never won the Super Bowl.
Don't look. You look like you're poking the bear there. Don't try to.
Don't look now. I want some Bengals fans in this. I want people picking the Bengals. I think the line right now is 4. That might go up. We'll see as the weekend goes on. So let's talk about this game. So the Rams, X's and O's, really line up pretty strongly against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
I would say this. I mean, a lot of people, and I get it, because sports is entertainment. And in sports and entertainment, you want to go with your emotions. You want to be able to ride that wild ride of freedom and think about storylines and all of this. So Joe Burrow and the Bengals have become a pretty trendy pick. They just topped over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who tripped over themselves when they had the lead. So I get why everybody thinks that this game is going to be much closer or more competitive. But let's just be honest. If we can be fully honest with each other, the Rams stack up better in pretty much every single category. You talk about the offensive lines, Rams have the edge. Defensive line, Rams have the edge. Secondary, you can maybe say toss up, but when you got a guy like Jalen Ramsey with that kind of pass rush in front of him, I would say the Rams have an edge. Sean McVay has been to a Super Bowl before. Zach Taylor's that's a huge deal. To me, it's not really close when it comes to roster to roster versus coaching staffs as well. So I would lean Rams have a heavy advantage. If the Bengals win, it'll be a great upset.
Yep. There we go with Jalen Ramsey, Florida State. So let's I'm going to tease ahead here. I do have the best Super Bowl viewing, how it happened story you might ever hear. But we want to get to, hey, we're here in South Florida. Let's talk about Florida connections in this Super Bowl. Jalen Ramsey right there. Jalen Ramsey, Florida State.
Yeah.
Okay. There was another good defensive back came out of Florida State by the name of Deion Sanders, and you felt like Ramsey was getting that tutelage from him, and he was the next big guy. And he's a shutdown corner. He's tough to throw at. Sometimes you don't even hear a lot from him in the game because they just don't throw his way. But he's a sure tackler. He is all pro level. I feel as if he continues the way he's going to continue, he'll be in Canton one day. But he brings it. He brings it. So there's a Florida State Seminole. Yeah. And I know we have some more. Listen, Florida Gators, I know you're out there. Get in the comments section. You have your kicker for the Bengals.
The Rook.
And he's hit 2 clutch field goals already and in the playoffs. So there you have another Florida Gator connection. By the way, you can watch the big game, 6:30 p.m., WPTV News Channel 5 right here. And so we have Tom McPherson, we have Jalen Ramsey. Trying to think of other Florida connections here.
Well, we can go strictly to the actual guys from the area, Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast. You got Trey Hendrickson, FAU alum. He had 14.5 sacks for the Bengals this year. Not only did that break the Bengals record, which was like 9.5 set by Carlos Dunlap, a Florida guy as well. It broke it by 5 sacks. And he also did, he was banged up at the end of the season. Trey Hendrickson is going to be a big part of that pass rush for the Bengals on Sunday. Okay,
so FAU connection.
Yeah, FAU Owl. The Rams also have Buddy Howell, FAU alum, a former running back. He was in that backfield with Devin Singletary back in the days when they had a 3-headed monster.
Okay.
He's a special teams guy. He's a specialist. We talked to him ahead of the Super Bowl as well.
Okay. All right. So you like to see the local guys hit it.
FAU's getting a Super Bowl no matter which way it falls.
Yeah, there's just so many, so many great players that are coming out of there and they appear like when they get to the NFL, they have some sticking power because they're hardworking guys. You know what I mean? Like smaller school may have spurned Florida State, or may have been overlooked a bigger, but they make the most of, especially the success lately of FAU, and that's cool to see. So. All right, here we go. More. Okay, St. Thomas Aquinas, Fort Lauderdale, Wyatt Ray right there. A powerhouse high school, down there in Lauderdale out of Broward County. So we're looking at the local connections. And we have this on our WPTV page as well. Scroll back down real quick.
Yeah, Auden Tate, 19.
Yep, Auden Tate, right. Okay, so you also have Mitchell Wilcox, a tight end, Tarpon Springs, went to USF. Cam Akers, gosh, floated my mind out there right now. Florida State, of course. He's running back number 1 for the Tutu Atwell. There you go. There's your Miami Northwestern. I mean, there are so many good high school players that come out of South Florida. It's ridiculous. Jacob Harris came out of Palm Harbor. So, again, you can – and there's Buddy Howell who you were talking about, running back that was in that stable of running backs from FAU. We're talking about local connections, football connections – with the Rams, and Van Jefferson, by the way, he's had some clutch catches throughout the season. He is a sure-handed receiver when he's a Gator. Okay, Sony Michelle. Did you forget that he went to American Heritage High School in Plantation? The list goes on and on, but you don't have to look far when there's a Super Bowl. Okay, who either went to high school in South Florida, who went to college in Florida. You know what I mean? Like it's a long list.
Yeah. So. That's what they told me when I took the job out here about a year ago. They were like, everywhere you look, no matter what the sport is, but especially football, the talent that comes out of here. They play on Sundays and Saturdays, and of course Friday nights. So
yeah, don't forget Matthew Stafford's from Tampa, so he went into his hometown and unseated the GOAT.
That's big,
right? That's huge.
Big. I didn't even realize that.
That is huge. Producer Peter Burke, I'm speaking with you as we're doing this live. Can you look up a picture of the Navy ship, the USS McFall, really quick? And I'm going to explain why. MCFAUL. And we can bring this up. And here it is. I'll try to make it as short as possible or as entertaining as possible. The greatest, almost missed the Super Bowl, but ended up getting to see it story you might hear. The year is 2000. I'm on deployment in the Navy, U.S. military active duty with the USS McFall, and I'm on my ship, okay? And the Rams are scheduled to play the Super Bowl, okay? But we're out to sea. We're doing exercises in the Mediterranean Sea with the Italian Navy, Greek Navy, French Navy on the Mediterranean Sea, and we're actually scheduled to miss the Super Bowl. I think Peter's grabbing a picture of the ship. I know I threw him for a loop there. USS McFall, MCFAUL. And all of a sudden, there's 300 people on board. Somebody gets an abscessed tooth and we had 2 Navy doctors on board, but they have only so much capacity to fix things. It was so bad that we had to, it was getting to be, it was going to be a bad infection, and we couldn't let that happen, right? So pulled out of the exercise we were in, and we go to La Maddalena, Sardinia, which is just off the coast of Italy, and there's a little Navy base there, U.S. Navy base there, on Super Bowl Sunday, and through satellite, the joys of satellite, they put it up on the TV while we were in port. We took a little boat as well over to this tiny little bar. Just enough time that we had to watch the Super Bowl, and I'm a Rams fan. I thought I was going to miss it and get updates online, and this was before the internet was really fast. Year 2000, right?
Yeah.
And this is the ship I was on, right? So this is the ship that pulled into Italy, Sardinia, I should say, the island of Sardinia. And so the kid gets this abscess tooth fix. He, was a crew member. He was a boatswain's mate on board in the Navy, and the Rams win. jumping for joy. We go back, and have a good time the rest of the night for just a few hours. And then we pull out of port at 5 a.m. the next morning because we had to get right back to this like legitimate military exercise with other navies. So we were out to sea about 3 more months on deployment. That, let's just say, he didn't buy a drink the rest of the deployment whenever we got some port visits and port time. But that was the only Super Bowl the Rams have ever won. Almost it. I was bumming. We're like, we're gonna miss it, and then that happened. I can't make that stuff up. So
we got to get you back on that ship.
Yeah, I know, right? How can we make this happen? Oh, so by the way, Andy Michaels said it would be cool to see the Bengals actually win something. I think it would be nice to see the city of Cincinnati get something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. I mean, they've gone through a lot. You talk about that drought that you had as a Rams fan. I mean, the Bengals have had the weird thing about the Bengals flight to the Super Bowl here is it's really been a run of not terrible and not great, just a lot of mediocrity. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been relevant in years. They had the Marvin Lewis years, but they just were never really contenders. And then they weren't even contenders this year. And then snap your fingers, they beat the Chiefs and they're in the Super Bowl. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago where they had Carson Palmer, and it looked like they had Chad Johnson back then, and it looks like they had a legitimate shot. I think they had Justin Smith on the line there. There were some good players, and then Carson Palmer tore his ACL. They were going against the Steelers, and it was like, well, the Bengals are the Bengals again. And, there's a big jump from making the championship game to getting to the Super Bowl to winning it. So, like, they just sniffed that. Yeah. And, listen, I'll be bummed if the Rams don't lose. But Joe Burrow, what a story. You're not going to be able to shake him as a quarterback. Alabama didn't shake him. Clemson didn't shake him. Winning the national championship.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs
in Arrowhead didn't shake him. So – he's Joe Cool, and I hear a lot of people. It's like he's kind of Montana-esque, you know what I mean? Just cool under pressure. He's already come back from injury. Just last night, we saw he had the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And that's the thing about what Joe Burrow brings. It's weird because when you look at some of the other young quarterbacks who are tearing it up in the NFL, because there is a new era coming as Tom Brady walks out into the twilight. You got Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, guys who their talent just jumps off the page. Like, we see it. Lamar Jackson is electrifying. Justin Herbert's arm is through this, it's unseen, unheard of.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he has the running and the arm. I mean, it's insane what these young quarterbacks bring. Nobody can really pinpoint what Joe Burrow does good, except for the fact that he's just never rattled.
Yeah,
and so confident.
Consider this: Aaron Rodgers has been in the league a very long time. Widely viewed by many as the best quarterback in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes in that conversation. How many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers won? One. How many Super Bowls has he been to? One, right?
One. Yep, one.
Okay. 11-10 career playoff record. So for Burrow to get there, and if Burrow pulls that win, what
are we saying here? Are you saying Burrow over Rodgers already?
No. You got to have more of a sample size for that.
Come on, man. I'm hot take sports radio guy. You got to give me something here.
All right, I'm going to give you something. Matthew Stafford right now, if he wins the Super Bowl going into next season, you got to believe he's the best quarterback in the league.
Whoa.
Listen.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. But let me explain.
Okay.
Mahomes had some stinkers. Like, he was on a 6-7 game stretch. He was not good this year. They had to claw their way back. And I mean, of course, he's talented and does things that no other. But, first of all, at what point Cooper Kupp had the most prolific season a wide receiver could have by the numbers, as did Calvin Johnson and the Lions. At what point do you connect the dots and say Matthew Stafford had something to do with that as well? He has proven it. I mean, how long have you said, man, if that guy was just on a good team when he was wasted so many years with the Lions, and if he wins the Super Bowl and you got those weapons back, I mean,
I don't know.
Why is he not? I mean, what does he do that he's not? He's been consistent his whole career. He's, of course, Aaron Rodgers throws for more statistics, but, listen, I don't see this Rams team depleting this roster too much. They're not building through the draft, of course, because they've given up all the draft picks.
Yeah.
But look what the result is. I think they're going to be that kind of franchise. They have money to spend, there's other teams that are kind of envious of that. But they took a chance on OBJ. There was Odell Beckham Jr. There was other teams that didn't want him, and I don't know. Stafford's the guy.
That's a strong stand, and I knew you were a fan. I didn't know you were this strong of a fan, and I'm happy as you glow and gloat about your quarterback here, who I'll be honest with you, he's not even top 5 in the NFL. But since we're 2 days away from the Rams going into SoFi Stadium to take on those Cincinnati Bengals, and I want you to just exude as much confidence into your guys as possible. I won't shoot down your take. I'll ride with you today because I want to see the Rams win as well. I want to see OBJ get a ring. You know who I really want to see get a ring? Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no, he deserves it.
That guy, his resume, he's going to go down as one of the greatest defenders of all time. I don't want to make any, but could be the greatest.
Yeah,
and that guy deserves to get a ring.
I think. Well, here's a less arguable comment. The best football player in the league right now is Aaron Donald.
He is.
And there's only, to my off the dome recollection, he is a remaining St. Louis Ram, as is Johnny Hekker, our punter. And there's Aaron Donald. And
that's a bad man right there.
Yeah, you have to account for him every play. I think the reason he didn't wreak so much havoc in the Niners game is because, listen, they play each other, it seems like 14 times a year. They're playing every other week, and they can, scheme around. They have a lot of tape on them, but you saw how it ended at the end of the game. He got to Garoppolo. Garoppolo threw the ball away, and there was an interception to seal it. And then the icon, you're going to see this video over and over again. He's pointing to his hand, over like he wants the ring.
Yeah, he wants that ring.
And I think he's on a mission, and that's not a guy you want to be lined up against that's on a mission right now.
Imagine that. And the Bengals, it's widely known. They have not the worst, one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Joe Burrow was sacked 62 times going into that AFC Championship game. Before Joe Burrow won that AFC Championship game, there were only 8 quarterbacks that were sacked 50-plus times in a season that made a championship game. All 8 of those guys lost. Joe Burrow's the only one that came out unscathed. Against a guy like Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, I don't know if Joe Burrow gets out of this one unscathed.
Listen, I understand Joe Burrow is really cool on Instagram and it's not necessarily him. It's just there's this persona. They're like making him like Chuck Norris and like this aura about him. And he is a cool under pressure guy. But at the same time, and this is my final my pick's the Rams, obviously.
Yeah.
But my final take from a football fan perspective and like really looking at it. And I hate people who are like, oh, you don't know anything about football if you don't pick this way or that way. But Joe Burrow's not going to have 5 seconds to throw all game because you have 2 Hall of Famers and Von Miller and Aaron Donald, the ones you mentioned, Theo, rushing him all game long. And what's he going to do? He's going to just throw it up, hopefully to Jamar Chase. Well, you're going to have Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase. Might get a few catches here and there. And then I just think with, Stafford having Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., they don't even have to run it that much. It's just clicking so much. I just think throw that in a pot. Listen, I think the Bengals are going to put up a fight. I think just eventually that ship is going to crack and sink, and it's going to be the Rams, hoisting the trophy in the end.
So you're officially picking the Rams. Do you have a score prediction with it?
I will make a score prediction with it. I'm going to go 28-14. I know the line's 4. I know people, I just think they probably score late. It's probably tight, like a 7-point game heading into maybe the beginning of the fourth quarter. But I think they're going to score late, and it's going to be 2 touchdown win, but it's going to be like it was closer than that, the whole game. So I think Rams by 14.
That's not even that wild of a prediction. For me, this whole time I've been thinking Rams. Mm-hmm. Last night I see Drake post that he bet over 2.5 million or so on the Rams and OBJ in the Super Bowl, and I wavered a bit because the Drake curse is real.
I didn't know he did that either.
The Drake curse is real, so I wavered. I wavered a little bit, but I'll stick with my original decision. I'll go with the Rams, LA Rams. I would say 27-19-ish.
Sounds about right. Almost right.
I think that Bengals get a few field goals in there, obviously, because when they get past the 45, they're kicking a field goal if it's fourth down with Evan McPherson, Florida Gator alum. So I would say about 27-19. I think the Rams win, kind of comfortably, and I think it's because Joe Burrow will never be comfortable in this game. We look at all of these playoff wins, and of course he had the 9-sack game against the Titans. They still won, but if you want to go back to that regular season, there were some bad losses, and a lot of that had to do with not just the offensive line play being bad, but the miscommunications with the protections. Joe Burrow holds the ball long. That's not a good sign when you're going up against that Rams pass rush.
No. But here's to a good game.
Yeah.
We've seen blowouts. Lately, though, the games have been pretty close. Other than the Buccaneers blew out the Chiefs in the last.
Oh yeah, the last Super Bowl. That was.
Other than that, recent memory, Super Bowls have been competitive. So let's hope we see a good game. Hey, Theo, thanks for joining us today. You can see Theo. Give a shout out when they can see you on WPTV.
Well, you'll see me tonight on WPTV and WFLX Fox 29. You'll also hear me in about an hour, 12 to 2 on ESPN 106.3, Ken LaVicka Live. I'll be hosting that with Jeanette Javier. And then from 4 to 6, I'll be on Josh Cohen and the home team with Dean Thomas and Tina. So I got a busy radio day and, of course, a busy TV day tonight. So it's Super Bowl's 2 days away. I want to get all my work done now so I can also enjoy the game.
And don't forget, you can watch WPTV News Channel 5, 6:30 kickoff. I know you got to get ready for your show. Let me clarify that Matthew Stafford hot take.
Okay.
With the caveat, if Matthew Stafford wins the Super Bowl and is moving through next season and poised to get a bye and makes another run in the playoff, I think you start having to consider that he's top 3 at least.
But it's a watered down hot take, Mike Trum. I need
with the caveat, if he wins this Super Bowl, I think next season when you're going into it, be like, who are the best quarterbacks in the league? You can't have that talk without Matthew Stafford at this point.
Well, we'll start that conversation Monday then if the Rams are able to win it and Stafford has a good performance. How about that?
We'll see you then. I'll be bleary-eyed. I'm staying up for the game, even though I'm doing the morning show. WPTV Monday through Friday is 4:30 to 7 a.m. So I'm staying up for it. I know you are too. We'll be listening to you. We'll be seeing you on WPTV News Channel 5 as well. Theo Dorsey, thanks for joining us. We're talking football. Keep the comments going. Get the conversation started and get jazzed up for the game on Sunday night. We'll see you all later.